How can someone who isn't invited to a wedding be considered responsible for giving a gift? I have a group of friends, though not all of them are truly close to me. Most of them are more friends by association, but we all go out together and have a good time. I do consider 𝒊𝒏𝒕 and 𝒔𝒐𝒏𝒃 to be real friends. For 𝒊𝒏𝒕's birthday, I got her a cake. 𝒔𝒐𝒏𝒃 had a small civil wedding, and 𝒊𝒐𝒏𝒕 offered to bring wine for the celebration at her place, while I offered to bring a cake. There's a girl in the group named Carly, and my relationship with her is neither friendly nor unfriendly. She's always shown some apathy towards me, and I know she doesn't really like me. I don't dislike her, but I get the sense we wouldn't be friends since we have different perspectives. During the celebration, Carly commented that she liked the cake, and �𝒐𝒏𝒃 mentioned that I had brought it. Carly said it was good, but that it tasted a bit dry. Everyone exchanged looks and changed the subject, but Carly kept talking about the cake. I didn't say anything about it. Carly had been planning her wedding before �𝒐𝒏𝒃 got married. She used to invite 𝒊𝒏𝒕, �𝒐𝒏𝒃, and other girls to discuss prices and ask for opinions on things, but she never asked me for my help or advice. I had assumed I wasn't going to be invited. Everyone else got an invitation, and I wasn't surprised when I didn't receive one. �𝒐𝒏𝒃 wanted to talk to Carly about it, but I asked her not to, as I didn't want a pity invitation and understood that Carly wouldn't invite me because we're not friends. �𝒐𝒏𝒃 told me she wouldn't attend if it would make me feel bad, but I told her not to worry about it. Then, Carly messaged me on WhatsApp to ask about cake designs and filling options. I thought she already had that figured out since her wedding was coming up, and she'd been planning it for a while. I sent her the catalog, and she commented on a few options she liked. She asked if I did the setup, to which I replied yes, and sent her some example photos. She only reacted to the photos with a thumbs up, and we didn't talk any further. She didn't ask for a quote or schedule a consultation, so I assumed she wasn't interested in my service. This was over a month ago. Today we went out to eat, and everyone was talking about the wedding. Her fiancé asked who I'd be bringing. I'm single, so I told him I wouldn't be attending. He asked why, and to keep the mood light and avoid drama, I mentioned I'd be traveling to visit my parents. He understood, but Carly asked me when I was leaving. I told her I'd be leaving on Wednesday, and she said, "The wedding's on Saturday. How are you going to set up the cake and dessert?" I asked which cake she was referring to, and she replied, "The one you're bringing to my wedding." I told her we didn't have anything scheduled, and she insisted she had our messages. I clarified that I had only given her options and set up photos, and since she didn't follow up, I assumed she wasn't interested. Her fiancé asked if anything could be done about it. I explained that the bakery requires a contract and a deposit. 𝒊𝒏𝒕 asked if Carly had paid a deposit or requested a contract. Carly replied, asking why she would need to, since it was my wedding gift to her and that I should make sure she had her cake for Saturday. I explained that I don't handle the bakery schedule and that, with the wedding so close, they wouldn't accept a new order. Carly seemed upset and looked very uncomfortable. I asked for my bill, paid, and said goodbye, saying I needed to go. I really don't want to lose my friendship with the group since I'm not from this city and I felt comfortable with them. I don't want this to create tension, but I also don't know how to handle conflicts. I know it's a bit sad that I can't stand up for myself and would rather avoid confrontation. 𝒊𝒐𝒏𝒕 told me that after I left, Carly said it wasn't fair for me to back out after agreeing, and some people in the group hinted that maybe I didn't want to go to the wedding because I didn't want to give her the cake. �𝒐𝒏𝒃 said I wasn't invited, and Carly replied that she had invited me. Update 1. I read a comment that this is how updates are done here. I hope those who gave me advice and asked for an update can see this. To those who asked why I didn't stand up for myself and let things get so out of hand, as I mentioned before, I don't like confronting people. I get nervous, feel like I can't breathe. When I had presentations in school, I used to throw up before and after each one. Sometimes I've even kept items I didn't order or didn't want just because I was too embarrassed to exchange them. I've been in therapy, and thanks to that, I'm now able to work as a cashier in a bakery. I don't think I could have done that before. I've come a long way, but I still get nervous speaking in public. I have a younger sister, and she used to go everywhere with me. I'd give her the money, and she would pay because just talking to the cashier would leave me breathless. I know people often feel sorry for those who seem weak, and I don't want to be seen that way or treated condescendingly. Someone sent me a private message asking our ages. I'm 21. 𝒊𝒏𝒕 is 30. Carly is 30. Anna is 31. Carly's fiancé is 31. Jessie is 30. I hope that helps clarify a bit more. Now here's what happened next. Someone suggested what I could say to Carly, and I sent it to her. She replied, saying she thought I wouldn't mind, and that I owed her a gift anyway, and she'd chosen the cake as her gift. I replied that only guests are responsible for giving gifts. She asked what I meant, and I clarified that she hadn't invited me to the wedding. She left me on read. I messaged her fiancé something like, I don't want to cause drama or any misunderstandings, but I didn't commit to giving her the wedding cake. I sent him screenshots of our conversation, and he called me right away. He apologized and said he thought it was odd when Carly told him I had offered to give her the cake. I mentioned it seemed even stranger to me since I wasn't even invited. He asked if I was serious, and I told him yes, but that I wasn't upset and understood if it was something private. He apologized again, and we ended the call. Around noon, Carly messaged me saying I was making a fuss over nothing, as if I couldn't just give her the damn cake. She didn't understand why I was being so sensitive, saying I'd given 𝒊𝒏𝒕 a cake and Jessie one as well, and asked me to explain why I couldn't do the same for her. I replied that 𝒊𝒏𝒕's cake was a birthday cake, and although Jessie's was for her wedding, it wasn't a wedding cake. Carly answered that it didn't matter what the cake was for. I told her if that was the case, she could buy one from the supermarket. She started typing, but I blocked her before the message came through. Then, Carly sent a message to the group with only the part where I told her to buy it at the supermarket, saying it was insulting and showed how little I valued her wedding, so no one could say she was the bad one. I responded to the group with a suggestion someone gave me in a comment, which I adapted a bit. Hey everyone, I want to clear up some confusion and rumors. I won't be attending the wedding because I didn't receive an invitation. I understood and made other plans for that time since the rest of you were invited. I'm not hurt or upset. It is what it is. The confusion about the cake is as baffling to me as it is to you. I only provided information on models and fillings from the place where I work, and that's all. I don't understand why it's expected that I cover a cake for a wedding I'm not invited to. It's true I suggested the supermarket, as she said the purpose of the cake didn't matter. I hope this clears everything up. I wish you all a wonderful time celebrating Carly and her fiancé. Congratulations in advance to the happy couple, and I hope those not involved don't feel caught in the middle. I posted screenshots where she reacted with a thumbs up when I sent the samples, along with all the conversations from that day and today. After a while, someone commented that the group wasn't meant for this kind of drama and that we should resolve it privately. 𝒊𝒏𝒕 jumped in and said, Carly demanded the cake in public, so it's only fair that everything is explained publicly. Another girl, let's call her Anna, commented that's not the way to ask for a gift. Carly saw everything and sent a voice note saying she didn't know a simple cake would ruin my finances, but that it was fine and that I shouldn't have shared everything in the chat. Then, she sent a second message saying that when I get married and don't have friends who can help me out with things from their jobs, I'll understand what it's like to be without support. A guy replied, tagging her, "You didn't invite her?" Carly responded, saying she had sent the invitation. Another guy asked, "Do you have the confirmation?" There was no reply. Carly, "No, but she should have told me when she saw she didn't get the invite." Jessie replied that she didn't like Carly's attitude, that she even considered not going, and would only attend for the fiancé's sake. Carly then said, "So no one says I didn't invite you. Everyone can see here I'm inviting you now. I'll send an electronic invite, since there's no point in printing one now." I replied not to bother, as I already had plans. Carly replied, "There you all see." Then someone who hadn't spoken left the group. Update 2. Before I get into what happened, I just want to thank you all for your kindness and great advice. I'll try to explain everything in order this time. I tend to be really brief when I talk, which can confuse people, but I don't mind clarifying things. You're all great. It's just something about how I talk. My sister always has to ask me stuff like, did this happen before or after, or what happened next, just to clear things up. When Carly tried Jessie's cake, she had already sent out the invitations. That was on Monday. The group chat went quiet after that, and the groom muted it since he's the only admin. On Tuesday, the groom came by the bakery to ask how I was doing. He apologized for Carly, saying he felt bad about the way she treated me. Then he gave me an invitation, It wasn't like the originals. It was just a plain white envelope with a printed letter inside. I know you guys liked the details. He asked me to come to the wedding, but I told him I already had plans and wouldn't feel comfortable going. He asked why I didn't say anything when I didn't get an invitation. I told him honestly that I was embarrassed to be the only one left out, but I understood. He said he didn't know and that when 𝒕 brought it up, Carly claimed she had sent it, but would check. He kept asking me to come, saying it would mean a lot to him. I said no. I'm learning to say no, and honestly, it feels great. He asked me to think about it, left the invitation, and left. Later that night, he added the guy who had left the chat before, the best man, back into the group. Then he sent a message saying something like, "The issue has been resolved. It was just a misunderstanding. We hope OP will join Carly and me on our big day. It would be so sad, and we'd really miss her if she doesn't come. OP, please come celebrate with us." Anna sent me a private message asking, "Did the groom really bring you an invitation?" I told her yes, and she said, "Send me a picture of it." When I sent it, she replied, "What an idiot." She added, "Don't go if you don't want to. Don't let him ease his guilt. He's no better than Carly." I thanked her, and we wished each other good night. The groom reactivated the chat, and Carly replied to his message with 2 crying emojis. "Yes, OP?" Then the best man left the group again without saying anything. I left the group too and turned off my phone. When I got to my parents' house, I turned my phone back on and saw a ton of messages. I didn't know what Carly had said, but I assume it was about me because Anna sent me angry messages like, "That was way too much." The groom had sent, "She's already here. Calm down." Carly had sent a bunch of messages in the group asking why I wasn't responding. 𝒕 replied to one of Carly's messages, which I couldn't see, saying, "Why do you want her to respond if that's how you feel?" Apparently, Carly had said something like, "That idiot never has an opinion on anything, and now she's trying to act all interesting." Jessie replied in the group saying, "She's not getting the messages. She's not seeing this." I had a lot of private messages from Jessie, but I opened the group chat first. There were more messages, but honestly, I wasn't feeling well. I turned off my phone again. On Saturday, the wedding happened, and I saw the photos on Facebook. Jessie and 𝒕 had messaged me privately, but I didn't know what to say. 𝒕 ended up coming to see me at work. She asked if I was upset that she went to the wedding. I told her I wasn't. She mentioned I hadn't replied to her messages, and I said I was just stressed. She also told me she asked Carly's mom about the whole cake thing. Carly's mom said she didn't get it either because Carly had wanted another girl to buy her cake a week before the wedding. 𝒕 told her that Carly had originally chosen a dummy cake, and the guest cake was pre-ordered as individual servings. Carly's mom said she'd talked to her, but figured it was just a misunderstanding. 𝒕 also mentioned the best man told her he's cutting ties with the groom because of the resort issue and everything else that happened. She said Carly was in a bad mood at the wedding, and the groom got drunk so they left early. But otherwise, the wedding was nice. The original bridesmaids didn't end up being in the wedding, it was different girls. 𝒕 also said neither the best man nor Anna attended. Edit. Anna didn't send me angry messages. She sent them to Carly. The group is on WhatsApp. The messages I received were after I was added back and the one 𝒕 selected. I'll tell you what happened with the best man. He's not on my side. He had a separate issue with the boyfriend and Carly. If Anna doesn't like something, she'll tell you. She didn't stand up for me because of me. She would have done it for anyone. I cleared it up this way because I'd like to read all your messages. And I hope the next time I update it will be the last because it's been a lot. Sometimes I think I should have just given the cake as a gift. Some people at my work know what happened, and it's awkward. I can talk about it easily here, but in person, it's harder for me. Update 3. First of all, I see that I didn't explain properly what happened with the resort. The godfather, who works at an expensive resort, was going to be the godfather, and Carly wanted to go, but her boyfriend couldn't afford it. She talked to him, and the godfather said he could get her a deal, but only for 3 weekdays, not the weekend. Carly and her boyfriend accepted the discount, but some services weren't included, like room service and massages. Carly got upset because it was empty during the week and didn't like the activities. She ordered several things to the room, and I don't know what else she did, but there was a huge extra charge. The boyfriend couldn't cover it, and the godfather got furious. The boyfriend said he would pay half, and the godfather would cover the other half, and he would reimburse him after the wedding. Carly had written to the godfather saying she hoped to get a bigger discount this time, since he always brags about his work, and so that the same thing doesn't happen again. He said that it upset him because he had work problems, and he sent her the reservation photo saying, "I'm out of this." The boyfriend called him, and according to him, the godfather told him to consider that debt as his wedding gift and not to involve him in the group again. That's why he left the group the first time. I knew about the resort, but not that Carly wanted to go again. One of the bridesmaids, who is a friend of Maddie and very close to Carly, said Carly was nervous and that those were normal things for bridezillas. She said Carly told her the color of the dress but didn't give her any ideas about the design or exact shades. They sent it to her before ordering it online. Carly agreed, but when she saw the dress in person, she said she didn't like it, even though they told her she had agreed to it based on the photos. She told them the dress looked different in person. Some bridesmaids backed out because they couldn't afford another dress, and the girl commented that the boyfriend had said he considered the girls as substitutes for the bridesmaids. She disagreed because Jessie and Maddie were married and didn't want to be part of the joke of catching the bouquet. The boyfriend suggested they not be part of the tradition of catching the bouquet, but she said that would draw more attention. This is what she said. I can't confirm if it's true. This girl also said, Carly often repeated a story about when we all ordered drinks, and Carly intentionally took mine because she knew I wouldn't change it. I always order the same thing. I don't like trying new things. I always order the same drink, the same ice cream flavor, the same food. Because of that and more, it makes sense that she might have done it just to make me look bad. I didn't even remember that, and she said Carly tells the story as a very funny joke. There was silence. Then they changed the subject. I listened to them, and for the first time, I didn't care about what they were talking about. Since that day, mentally, they were no longer my friends. At least a week passed after that. I don't have proof, but everything they said about Carly, even though I didn't comment, wasn't because of her. I don't like talking about people. It came across as if I had said it, and Carly came to complain to my workplace, started shouting at me, and I told her to leave. She broke a glass, and when other employees came out, she came at me. I had never fought with anyone, and I was angry because of how she made my days difficult. When she came at me, I grabbed a tray, one that was used for baking bread. I don't know how many times I hit her with it, but I fractured her arm. She sued me, but there are videos showing she attacked me and pulled my hair. She showed up with scratches on her face, and I don't remember doing that. The bakery owner summoned her to the prosecutor's office for the damages, and she tried to make me equally responsible, but she had broken the glass before I assaulted her. Maddie and Jessie have tried to talk to me and offer their support. I told them I didn't want their friendship anymore. They insist they weren't the ones who spoke to Carly, but it's strange that this happened right after they saw each other. It could have been the godmother, but what Jessie said about Carly was what Carly confronted me about. So I don't believe them because Carly confronted me about liking her boyfriend, and the one who asked me if I liked him was Maddie, and I told her no. And not just him. She asked me about several guys, one by one, who I liked, and I told her no. This was a long time ago, so it's strange that it's coming up now, and so distorted. There have been threats, which is why I moved. Sorry if this bothers you, I'm not a violent person. Although it seems like this made me better, it really hasn't. Now I'm more anxious and stressed. I've never had legal problems before, and this is how I'll start 2025.